married game artist.
Okay, I'm back. So I'm gonna try something different. I'm gonna try something new. See what y'all think about this. Uh, y'all tell me what y'all think. Y'all come in. Y'all comment something. If it's gonna let you comment, that's what I've been so worried and focused about for the past few days. But I'm back. I was live earlier, so we're gonna do our Let's Talk live like we were supposed to do on Tuesday, but I was so out of it Tuesday. I didn't feel like going live. I'm gonna try to have something special for y'all next week on Tuesday. I might go live twice next Tuesday as well. But I got some topics for y'all. But we haven't talked about our walk in the park videos in a while. So let's get to it. So this walk in the park video was about what was it about? It was about this walk in the park video was about uh hold on, I'm still trying to figure out how to use this. Okay, yeah. All right, I think I got it now. So this walk in the park video was about networking and being social. So I should have played my intro first, but I'm about to play that in a bit. And yeah, I'm gonna just stop talking. I hope that one day I can become the king of rap and upgrade the rap god like Eminem. Rappers in this generation are too feminine. I separate with masculinity, I am heaven sent. Fishing for fishermen, but I don't need a ride. In the Bible, it says that all of us are God. People ask what the D-A in my name mean. That he say, she say, makes people angry. Okay, that's better. It's Z-Man World! And I'm back with another video. So I don't have to explain much. Let's just, how do I do this? I'm still trying to figure out how to use this. Nobody in the comments. What's banners? Still trying to figure this out. Share screen. What's up, Z-Man World? It's another beautiful Walk in the Park Wednesday video. And it's windy. I almost had the basketball court to myself, but some kids came with their mother. And it's wet because it's been raining a lot. So I don't see why they came out anyway. I could have had it to myself. I could have talked there by myself. It would have been better because instead of all this fucking wind, y'all would have heard my voice from echoing inside of that shelter where the basketball court is outside. But anyways, I'm going to get into the video. So today's video, I'm going to get straight to the point. It's about being social and networking. Okay, being social and networking. So this video is going to be a little bit similar to the dating video because the dynamics are similar because you're dealing with people. Okay, being social. Personally, I'm not really a social person. I consider myself an ambivert, which is someone that's an extrovert and an introvert combined. But other people, including my parents, think that I'm an introvert because they think that I never get out of the house. And when I was little, I had friends, but I never would hang out with them. Yes, I would go to parties and stuff every once in a while, but I was never always hanging out with friends outside of school every single day, unless I was playing basketball for a park or playing soccer for a park or doing something that's extracurricular outside of school, which I wasn't doing enough of. And when I was doing that, I was meeting new friends from other schools, and I was meeting friends that was new to my school, I guess. But I never really had friends. I had friends, but I didn't really have friends. What I'm saying is, my friends weren't with me all the time, like everybody else's friends are. We didn't spend that quality time. But anyways, I think I explained that enough, and I think y'all understand it. I'm not gonna keep getting into it. I could keep saying it and explaining it different types of ways, but now I'm gonna keep talking about so being social, or I'm gonna get into networking. Let me think what I'm gonna do. Hmm. Yeah, being social and networking is basically the same thing because you're meeting new people. Being social and networking is just making new friends, making new connections. Anybody could be your friend. Your girlfriend could be your friend. A business partner could be your friend. A fan could be your friend. All of those are friendships before they become relationships. Relationships are long term. Friendships are the beginning of a relationship. That's what I believe. But when it comes to marketing, that's a whole different topic. If y'all want me to do a video on marketing, put that in the comments. But marketing is when you use networking, but you involve money in it. Because with marketing, you're literally putting your face in front of other people. So, anyways, if y'all want me to get a whole business, no, I'm not gonna say business. I'm gonna separate the videos out into different aspects of business. I'm not gonna make a whole video about a fucking business course. I'm just not gonna do that shit because each thing is individual in its own to make it that one important part of being business related. I think I said that right. I don't know. But social. Going out places, going to events, going to networking events, going to parties, socializing, going to funerals, going to church, going to places, going to the mall, going to the French Quarter, going to the fair, going to the all these different places I'm naming are places where you can network, places where you can be social, places where you can make friends. So when you go to these places, make sure that when you're talking to people, if they're new people that you know, make sure that you get their social media because so many people are like, how do I grow my Instagram? How do I grow my TikTok? How do I grow my Twitter? It starts with meeting people. It starts with being social. Once you meet people and start being social, and everything will fall in place once you start asking for social medias. Now, if you notice people asking you for their social medias because they're trying to network, but you can't wait for the other person to ask you for your social media. You have to do it. If they don't give you their social media, so what? There's a million other people that are willing to. But I'm thinking that being social and networking are the same thing. So I'm not going to say I'm moving on in networking, but yeah, I'm moving on in networking. When it comes to networking, get you one of these. I don't know if y'all can read it. It says dot. It's a dot card. It's basically a card with a QR code, and it's a card where you can tap your phone, and all your links to the social media and your phone number and your email address will come up. It's basically a digital business card, a digital business card. And with these digital business cards, they're coming on a rise. They are the future of networking. When you use these cards, be mindful that you have to use them. I don't even know what I'm saying. I might come back to that, but I'm gonna just keep going. Using these dot cards. When you're using them, you have to be mindful about who you're sharing it with. Don't just share it with anybody. Share it with people who you want to make connections with, people that you want to have a future with, someone that you see a vision of having a productive and flourishing relationship with. Not just someone that's an asshole or someone that has nothing going on in their life. Someone, the same thing if you don't have a dot card. Don't share your social media with people that have nothing going on for them and they're not business minded. Only use it for people that you feel like you should use it. Okay? People that you feel like you should have your information. And when it comes to that, and the same thing with girls. Now I'm gonna go back to the dating thing that I was talking about. Dating. When it comes to girls, if you're a man, I'm saying girls because I'm a man and I don't know if I should be saying woman if I'm a man, but I'm saying this because I'm straight and I'm not a girl, so I'm not gonna say boys and men, of course. So that's pretty much obvious. Anyways, when it comes to dating in general, what you want to do is you want to take your dot card, all your social media in your phone, and you want to give the girl your social media if you're a dude, and you want to tell them, hey, you want to be friends? That's how you start off and get into the romantic or relationships. You start off as friends. You don't go straight into, hey, let's date. Just tell them you want to be friends. I think I was talking about that in my last video. If I wasn't, I'm talking about it now. Be friends before you get into a relationship. That's with any type of relationship. Okay, back to the networking. When you're using these cards, don't use them for people that's filthy and trifling and will fuck up your career. Use them with people that you know will do right by you. Also, when you're using these cards, there's gonna be times where this QR code is not gonna scan. There's gonna be times where you're sorry about that wind, where it might not be able to tap. That's when you just maybe give them manual information. Or there's a link. Memorize your dot card link by heart. Because once you do get that social media, if you have it tapped or scan the QR code, you can send them the link to your dot card link. And then they can get all your information that way. Or you could just type it into their phone if you know it by heart. But I think it'll always start with https://dot.cars/ your name that you use for your account. And when it comes to networking, you have to have a dot card. You have to have a QR code or something that's easy. Because we're going in a place in this age where the old ways of business are flourishing away and we're coming up with new technology to make it easier. So use the easier technology for everything. And when it comes to social media, always use the new features on your social media. Use everything. If you're on YouTube, use the shorts, go live, use the videos, what's something else? Use the hashtags. Just do everything you can on YouTube. With TikTok, repost, do this, do that, do that. Instagram Reels, posts, live, notes. Just use all the features that you could possibly use and use them to the fullest. Use them daily and use them until you can't use them no more. That's how you grow your social media. And when you meet people in person, make sure that every person you come across, you give them your social media, except for the people I was telling you about earlier. The people that have nothing going for themselves, they're not business minded, they're trash people. You do not give them your social media. People that I see, me personally, if it's people from my past that I do not like, I'll go speak to them. But I would not give them my social media. If I see a couple, like boyfriend and girlfriend, or someone that looked like a couple, boyfriend and girlfriend, this happened to me yesterday. I knew them from a school I went to. I went to them, I introduced myself, I told them that I remember them, and then I went about my day. I didn't get their social media because I don't want to get anybody mad. And I don't want to get anybody mad right now, and I don't want to get anybody mad in the future because I don't get along with them. If you know you don't get along with somebody, don't give them your social media. That's just common sense. And when it comes to networking, you have to follow up. You have to communicate with them. Don't just give them your social media and don't contact them, because there's a lot of times where you give someone your social media and they won't contact you. You be the first to contact them. And if they contact you back, that's great. If they don't, then so be it. But the goal is to make a friendship that will flourish into a relationship where the two of you combine, become friends, become close, and make money. Is that making sense? Now, if it's a girl, yeah, make it your girlfriend. If it's a, if it's anybody else, you're gonna make money. But if it's your friend, just be friends. If it's, I'm trying to think of something where money isn't involved. Anything where money isn't involved, don't take that money thing into consideration. But if it's a business partner or someone business related, always make sure that you follow up. Same thing if it's a friend or a girlfriend. You want to follow up because you don't want them to think that you're ghosting them, or you don't want them to forget about you. But you don't got to be blowing up their phones and shit. Text them and wait a little bit just to see if they're going to text back. And if they're not, then text them back a few days after. Don't text them back the same day or right after. They're going to get annoyed, because I have some people that been like that with me, girls and people. But yeah, I hope y'all enjoyed this video. If y'all don't know what a Walk in the Park Wednesday video is, for the new people that saw this video, it's basically when I record on the Sunday through Tuesday. I choose one of those days and I talk about a topic about life. And I talk about it in the video and I upload it on Wednesday. I think I touched base on everything. I hope so. I I was trying to touch base on everything. I kept having new thoughts coming in my mind as I was going. So I believe so. If not, uh, I'll talk about it in the live where I recreate these videos. So comment in the comment section. How many episodes do y'all want me to release for Walk in the Park Wednesday? Because I know I'm doing these episodes, but I don't have an exact limit on how many episodes I'm gonna do. But like I said before, after I do these episodes, I'm gonna make lives of me recreating these videos, adding more content to it, talking about the subject more in depth. So when it comes to networking, network with the right people, not just anybody. I hope y'all like this video. If you're new to this video, remember, like I said, Walk in the Park Wednesday videos is when I release on Wednesdays, talking about life. Comment, like the video, subscribe if you're new. See you in the next video. And remember, we be original.
I don't know why I do the salute. I just like doing that because I like seeing Ty X Worldwide do it. Like I said in my live earlier, Ty X Worldwide, my favorite online dating coach. So so yeah, a lot of stuff I preach, I'm not gonna lie, I don't practice. I don't practice a lot of the stuff I preach. And I don't know why. It's probably because all this information that I'm learning is new to me, but it's also life experience that I'm learning this information from. And I'm still trying to, and I'm still new to some of these life experiences. So, anyways, I'm just going to go off of my memory. I'm probably not going to say everything that I remember, but in the beginning, I was saying I don't really have friends like that. Yeah, I had friends later on in life, you know, but earlier in my life, I only had a select few friends, had a small circle, and as I was getting older, I was trying to make new friends, and I started having friends from other schools right before I went to high school, and I started seeing some of those friends from other schools in high school. So, if that makes any sense, so that's what I was talking about when I was like, I have friends, but I don't have friends. And also, I was saying I don't have friends, but I have friends because I wasn't meeting them after school. The only people I was meeting after school was the people that was on my basketball team, my park basketball team. But other than that, if they were from my school or if they weren't from my school, I wasn't seeing you unless you was coming to the park. And I still see some of them today when I go to a different park that's near my house. But anyways, so other than that, I was talking about dating. I was talking about dating a little bit. I also got a walk in the park video about dating. I don't know if I'm gonna react to that because I'm covering some of that right here. Yeah, when you meet a girl, you want to be a friend first. You want to slowly make her like you because girls think that you're desperate when you try to ask for their number the first time you speak to them, especially if they don't find you highly attractive. That only works for guys that they find highly attractive. If a girl thinks that you're a 10 and you approach them and ask for their number, they're gonna give you their number. But if you a guy that they think is a 6 or a 7, maybe even an 8, they're not gonna give you the number on the first try. So you gotta build that up. That's why girls reject guys so much. Now, I'm not gonna say be a simp, but nothing is wrong with being nice to a girl. Cause how else you gonna get her to be romantically into you? You get what I'm saying? You don't have to be mean to the girl. You don't have to be a bitch. And I like being a bitch to, girls, just to get them emotionally aroused. If that makes any sense. I hope that does. But when you're talking to a girl that you think is going to reject you, ask to be friends. If it's a girl that you know is going to say yes, ask for the number, ask for the social media. If it's a girl you're unsure about, ask for the social media and then get the number from the social media. Because if you're unsure about her, she's unsure about you. If you think she's going to say yes, she's probably going to say yes. If you think she's going to say no, she's probably going to say no. You just have to go with your gut feeling. But you get better at this as you get to talk to more girls. And that's what I realized with me. A way to tell if a girl like you through text is if they give you one word answers. Now I know that sounds strange because usually when a girl sends you one word answers, you would think that's uh that they're showing a lack of interest. But hear me out. In some cases, not all cases, in some cases, girls that say oh, LOL, or those 3 words, just those 3 words alone, if a girl's saying that a lot, she probably like you. But if a girl is saying stuff like K, O, wow, okay, stuff like that, stuff that sounds dry. There's a difference between dry texting and one word responses. If a girl is dry texting you, that's how you know that she's not interested. If she's dry texting you. But if she just giving one word responses that seems like she may be wanting to continue the conversation, then yeah, girls will always continue the conversation if they like you. Now, the weak thing to do, and this is something that this is something that what's the word? This is something I'm guilty of doing. I would come off weak by telling her, "Oh, you must not be interested in me because you said one word response, or you just said oh," and she'll be like, "You don't know that." You get what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is true, and I noticed because I was looking at text messages from girls I had, and the more I was looking at text messages from girls, the more I was looking at text messages from girls, they oh shit, I farted. The more I realized that some of the stuff I'm telling y'all is true. So when you texting girls, remember O, LOL, and that means a girl like you. And if a girl is laughing in real life, If you're talking to a girl in real life and she's laughing a lot, or if she's smiling, that means she like you. Now, when you ask for the number, I don't know. It don't hurt. I might watch some more videos on it because there might be some videos out there of guys that's thinking the same way that I'm starting to think right now. But I'm gonna give y'all an example of this girl that I'm talking to in person, not a girl that I'm texting. I talked about the texting shit already. So I wear glasses. I used to wear contacts, but I don't wear my glasses all the time. I take them off. You know, people say you look unattractive when you have glasses on. I don't think that's true. There's some glasses that make you look attractive, but I wear glasses. At the eye doctor, there's this light-skinned girl. She looked like she's about around my age. I I um I talked to her. I talked to her, and no, I didn't really talk to her. I bought my glasses from her, and I was feeling like she was digging me. I felt like she said something. I think she actually told me that I look good with the glasses, but I don't completely know for sure. She told me that. So I just kept that in my mind. I was like, maybe she's attracted. She also go to the gym I go to, Planet Fitness. So one time, and when I first saw her for the first couple of times, I didn't say anything because she didn't notice me. But then one day when she was walking by while I was on the treadmill, I said, "Hey, you work at the eye doctor? I bought some glasses from you." And she was like, "Oh yeah, really? You like them?" And then she was laughing and she walked away. She walked away fast. You know why? Because she was nervous. Shy and nervous are two different things. Nervous, she likes you, but she's scared. Shy is a girl that's timid and emotionally unavailable. So when I told her about the glasses, she did that and she smiled. Then the next time I saw her, I was close to her again. Now, if you're not close to her, don't walk up to her and do this. But I was looking for somewhere to work out, like to stand up and do something because the gym was packed. They had people from Gretna there. So I just gave her a fist bump and she laughed and she smiled. And the last time I saw her, it was yesterday. She was walking and I was waving and she smiled. So the point I'm trying to make is if a girl likes you, the emotion that will come across is that she's happy. She happy when she see you. She happy when she's around you. And she's happy when she's talking to you. But let's go to the next video because I can't think of anything else that I was going to react to from the Walk in the Park video.
What I'm going to cover here comes from over 15 years of me working on my social skills. This isn't from some books. To be honest, I haven't found any good books when it comes to social skills. It's terrible. It's a lot of speculation, a lot of academic thinking, a lot of what sounds good in your mind, but it doesn't come from real life experience. I'm someone who from 2006 on went.
Oh, another thing. I say hey to her. I talk to her, but I'm not going to get her number yet until I know for sure that she likes me. But I don't want to wait too long and then it'll be too late. And then I don't have her number at all. But next time, like I said, the first two times, when I talked to her the first time and when I gave her the fist bump the second time, it was because she was close to me. So next time she's close to me, I might ask for her number. Wait, I might not even ask for the number. I just might ask for the social media because I'm gonna be unsure. But if I wait too long, I might not ever see her again because she might go to a different gym, or I might be in a place where I'm doing something where I can't see her anymore. But let's continue.
What I'm going to cover here comes from over 15 years of me working on my social skills. This isn't from some books. To be honest, I haven't found any good books when it comes to social skills. It's terrible. It's a lot of speculation, a lot of academic thinking, a lot of what sounds good in your mind, but it doesn't come from real life experience. I'm someone who from 2006 on went out in the real world, not in books, real world, and started interacting with people. I've talked to more people than the average person normally would in their entire life.
You capping,
I've talked
bro.
to more
You
people
lying.
than probably all of you combined. No joke. And this here is part one of getting good socially. It will come down to a lot of inner work, but there is an external side where, hey, you got to work on yourself. That's the authenticity part. But then you have to also work on the connecting to others part. You want to connect to others? You better know how to read others, how to read them emotionally, how to put yourself in their shoes. It's called empathy, advanced empathy, and how to know exactly what would make sense, what wouldn't make sense, what would connect, what wouldn't, and calibrate to them. The only way you're going to develop this feel is by talking to a lot of people and knowing exactly what to look for and recognizing the different patterns between all of those people. So keep that in mind. You want to get good talking to people, talk to a lot of people. Take charge of your social life and talk to more people than you naturally should. Say you were to talk to 30 people a day. Time passes, guess what? That's a lot of experience under your belt. But, as I mentioned, that will be on the connecting side. On the expression authenticity side, that is work that you will have to do on the inside. Because it's the foundation. Meaning, if you go out and you're anxious and you're scared and you start pretending to be someone that you're not, you start putting on this front, you start trying to act confident or act fake, well then guess what? Will those references help?
No.
No, because they will all be coming from the front, not you. Even in terms of seeing what clicks or not, you're not going to know authentically if you click and with who. Even in terms of getting good references, it's not you who's getting validated, but the front. So it will actually hurt your self-esteem and hurt your confidence. It's going to keep saying, I am only liked when I'm pretending to be this, versus I'm liked for me. So you'll have to learn how to crack open that front, tap into the real you you've been disconnected from a very long time. This is also why advice like be yourself is very accurate, but most people don't know how to be themselves. Who you think yourself isn't really you. It's the front that you've put on and been the majority of your life. So letting go internally, unleashing authenticity, and then from there getting a lot of reference experiences. At a most basic level, you can break down social skills as, okay, social skills, you have on one side, 80% of what I call emotional skills. And on the other side, it's 20% of what I call analytical skills. Emotional skills, analytical skills.
I thought it was about to say intelligence skills or some shit.
Emotional is everything that has to do with the vibe. Okay? For example, if you're someone who is very anxious, that's an emotional skill. If you're someone who gets stuck in your head, that's an emotional skill. If you run out of things to say, that's an emotional skill. If you can't have fun, that's an emotional skill. If you can't express your true self, that's an emotional skill. Analytical skill, as we talked about, this is the foundation. This you will develop through reference experiences. the right reference experiences. This will come down to, you could say, polishing that natural vibe. If you've ever heard the term social natural before, it's a thing. Someone who's gone through a certain conditioning, a certain life, and they just feel very comfortable socially. You might have some friends like that. No matter where you go, they can easily talk to people. Everyone just likes them, likes talking to them. They gravitate towards them. You know, if that person comes out to a dinner or something, they're going to make it fun, right? A social natural. That's the emotional skills. Emotional skills alone will get you to that point of being social natural. You can kind of just be loose, be yourself. But then you do need, as we talked about, the analytical to make sure it connects with others and to even polish that expression of you. And this here, you could simplify it as content. Vibe, content. Big mistake people do is they try to work on the vibe, the emotional skills, using their analytical mind. No. That looks like, okay, I run out of things to say.
I'm going to have to look at what he said about the analytical mind because I don't remember what he said. I wasn't paying attention.
Out to a dinner or something, they're going to make it fun, right? A social natural. That's the emotional skills. Emotional skills alone will get you to that point of being social natural. You can kind of just be loose, be yourself. But then you do need, as we talked about, the analytical to make sure it connects with others and to even polish that expression of you.
I get
and
what
this here, you could simplify it as content.
What he's saying is the analytical skills are what are the skills of what's relatable to others and what makes people comfortable. The emotional skills are natural. It's yourself. It's your personality. And more people use the analytical skills to take what people are relatable and comfortable with and use that more than their own personality. And I get what he's saying because if you're a person that's doing things because you're scared of what people are gonna say, that's analytical skills. But if you're just being yourself and you don't care about how anybody feels about it, that's your emotional skills. And when you're using your analytical skills, you come off as boring and you also come off as not genuine and what's the word I'm looking for? But I'm gonna go back to emotional skills for a second. When you're using your emotional skills so much, it makes you come off as weird. And I think so. It makes you come off as weird. And it makes you come off as different, unique. It makes you come off as strange, maybe intrusive. For me, at least, I feel like I use my emotional skills a lot, which I need to do less of. I need to balance it out a little bit, but I'm a person that's full of personality, and I love making people laugh, and I love saying stuff that's unordinary and stuff that could piss people off and turn them off. But analytical skills is more about you're scared of what someone might do. So you're coming off as someone that's, I said boring, I said not genuine. It's not yourself. I'm going to just say that because I can't even think of the other word I was trying to think of.
Vibe, content. Big mistake people do is they try to work on the vibe, the emotional skills, using their analytical mind. No. That looks like, okay, I run out of things to say. What are some, if I analyze this and think, some ways I can not run out of things to say? What are maybe some stories I can memorize, or some things I could fall back on, et cetera, et cetera? Terrible. That doesn't solve anything. What solves the emotional skills? One thing and one thing alone. It's 2 words.
Letting go.
Yes. Letting go. Letting go is what gets you to become a social natural. All of you were born as social naturals. All of you. All of you were way less stifled as children versus you here today. All of you were. This isn't something that's missing within you. It's something that you've buried inside. As you started growing up, you started getting a bit more worried. What do people think of me? Oh, is that how I sound? No baby is, well, is that how I sound? No kid's thinking that. That comes later on. You started judging yourself. Trauma happened. And ultimately, you started disowning and hiding your true self and putting on this front that you've now basically become. Who am I? The front. And you've lost touch with authenticity. Letting go gets you back in touch with that. Letting go, guess what? Allows you to no longer get triggered. Social anxiety, that's you getting triggered. Until you identify why you get triggered, where that comes from, the original trauma, nothing's going to change. You can try to progressively desensitize yourself, which is sadly what most people do, and that'll give you some results, but it's not all the way, and it's not permanent. As soon as you stop doing your little challenges, you fall back. Letting go, that's the foundation, and it'll get you 80% of the way. It's actually the highest ROI thing you could do with talking to a lot of people, is actually letting go. And sometimes it baffles me when people are like, oh, I like this letting go stuff, Julian, but what about the social skills? That is social skills. If you can't see letting go gets you 80% of the way, then you're too far gone and your IQ is far too low. Okay? And this is also very important when I say the biggest ROI thing you can do is actually letting go. And sometimes it baffles me when people are like, oh, I like this letting go stuff, Julian, but what about the social skills? That is social skills. If you can't see letting go gets you 80% of the way, then you're too far gone and your IQ is far too low. Okay? And this is also very important when I say the biggest ROI thing you can do. Vibe is more important than content. You can also analyze in terms of socially. If you're someone who's just very, very analytical, hey, you need to do a lot of letting go and work on the emotional skills. You need to learn, especially socially, to get out of your head, to unlock what I call your full instrument, meaning not just speaking like this with the mouth and the lips, but with the body. Notice that, with the body. That there, old me, right, back in 2006, all shy, stifled, I couldn't do that. No technique, no line is going to get me to do that. You can't force that.
So what he's saying is being socially awkward is not being awkward. Being socially awkward is overthinking about being awkward. I get it. This is very deep, and he's explaining it very well, so it's easy to catch.
Forcing that would look like, with the body. That's forcing it. Very different, no? You can sense there's not that same depth to it, and it's a lot more at you. With the body. Hey, everyone. You like how loud I am? Does it make sense? Like you like it with the body? With the body. One, the voice is going like grounded. The voice goes down. With the body. With the body. My voice is actually shooting down here. Loud. Shooting down. Yet it projects a lot more. Reels people in more. This isn't something that happens by force. It comes from letting go. Okay. You could think of it too as taking a shit. People are constipated as fuck and they're trying to shit socially. They're like really stifled. Like that's their instrument. It's like super constipated. And they're like, come on, express yourself. And you'll hear their voice. Literally, it's like a little string of shit going like, hey, my name's Jeremiah. Come on, shit, get out of my mouth. And then they might try to be loud, like, hey there, trying to shoot the shit out. And they're like, maybe more, just forcing it. Terrible. People sense that. It's weird. It's too much. It's off-putting. And you can just sense that person's constipated. On the flip side, you also see people constipated who just suck it up. There's like, I'm just too shy to even try to express it. So you'll either have the person like super constipated, not talking, or constipated and trying to force a little string out. Letting go dilutes the anus so that it just naturally, effortlessly, just all comes out. And that's when you tap into your true power. That is the best way to illustrate this. Are you trying to force out your vibe? Or are you diluting and just letting it out? Just that's power. That's also getting out of your head, because then you're not wasting all that energy trying to force something out. Then you can allocate that energy to pattern recognition, putting yourself in the other person's shoes, to forward willpower. This is important. If you're really shy and anxious and stifled, you're trying to hide all that, you're trying to micromanage how people think, there's all that worry, you're burning a ton of energy and willpower. Energy and willpower that is necessary if you want to truly express yourself and make sure it connects with someone. Guess what? Right now, this event, am I using a lot of energy and willpower speaking right now? Yes or no? Yes. Kidding me? Yes. To craft a speech like this requires a lot of concentration and willpower. It has to make sense. Like, as I'm talking now, I'm already, just like playing chess, thinking 3-4 moves ahead of how this is going to link to what I say then. I'm also thinking, okay, for them to understand this concept, I need to say this first. I need to say it in this order. I'm going to use this story. I'm going to use this joke. It's a ton. It's very mentally intense. What allows me to do this, while also remaining flowy and fun and at ease, is by having access to all of my energy, focus, and willpower. And I can't be burning it backwards, fighting against myself, stuffing stuff down. That's why people mess up. If all your energy is like, oh, be cool, oh, don't show the anxiety, like you have like 10% left on what you're saying and forward focused. Good luck with that. 10% left in terms of even analyzing your references. Most people don't even remember their references. How are you going to grow from that? So letting go is also what gets you out of that, reclaiming all that power, which really accelerates your growth. And then in terms of what reels people in on a charismatic level, we always get so obsessed with the content, right? Like, what are some cool stories to say that's going to reel someone in? Oh, give me the little cool stories, the words. It's like, it's the vibe. It's literally the vibe. Vibe is 80%. Of course, you can refine and what I call polish the wording, but what comes first, what draws someone in, is the energy that they put out. You lost? Is that your spot? Yes, okay. Favorite example is this. Okay. Sure, I'm going to have to kick you out. Okay. Yes, again, this is social awareness too. 2 in your head, you can't even notice you're disrupting an event. Be aware. That number one lesson for you, wake up, be aware. Okay? Now, the big test that I always like bringing this back to is this. Say you take 2 people and there's 2 scripts for a commercial selling you on this pen. Person number 1, they did a ton of test studies on the different words that resonate with the audience. Oh, if you say the word moist when talking about this pen, it'll really resonate. So it's all studied and it's this carefully crafted, marketing experts came in, like the script is perfect. The content is perfect. But let's just say that person's vibe is at a 50%. Take someone else, their script, let's just say there is no study, it's 50% as good as the other one. A worse script, but vibe is 100%. Who's going to be more appealing and captivating? The vibe. Vibe comes first. Master that, 80% of the way there. Then, of course, add on the content. And this is how you see people got it the wrong way. They're like working all these words, but it just comes off weird, hollow. Even the words itself, what you're saying, what is it supposed to highlight? The vibe. And this is the other big shift, is that most people try to go out and socialize and put this front and hide behind this front to distract people from who they are. Hey, if I learn these tips and tricks, people won't see that I have nothing to say. If I learn these stories, people will think I'm interesting. If I hide my anxiety, people will think I'm confident. So everything you're saying or doing is designed to distract people. We call this being a social scammer. Sadly, most people. A social master, yes, there are still some tips and tricks involved in the 20%, but they're not meant to distract people from who you are. They're meant to highlight who you are. Saying something, even the story, is meant to highlight how awesome your vibe is. Make sense? Are you, and this is an audit for all of you, whenever you're talking to someone, are you trying to bring their awareness to who you are, or hide and bring it to something that you're not? And at the most basic level, this starts by going first and just being real off the bat. If you're going out and you're like, okay, I need to have more fun, and you even try to jump up to have some more fun, it's better than nothing, but you're still scamming. Why are you not having fun by default? Why do you need to do that to have fun? Okay, I need to build my momentum. No, you don't need momentum. Is there such a thing as momentum? Of course. But it should play a small role. Meaning, I do still get affected by momentum, but my starting point is really damn high. And the momentum just takes me those extra couple percents. For most people, they have nothing. They're all momentum. Not good. That's still scamming. That's the whole, I'm not in state. Now what? Why are you not in state? Let go, and you don't need to make momentum your go-to foundation. If you notice, guess what? I could be quietly standing at the back. I walk up. Hey, how's it going? I don't need momentum. I don't need to warm up. I don't need to do my 2-3 minutes. I'm going to talk a little bit for 2-3 minutes and warm up. No, because I've done the inner work. There's nothing blocking it. There's nothing I need to fight against. And then here's the other trap. If you're relying on momentum, even if you're relying on different stories or things that you say, that becomes your source of confidence. It's not coming from you. It's hurting core confidence. There was a comment recently on a video that I put out. Someone's like, oh, I love that bit of advice. It was just an advice when it comes to conversation skills. It's like, oh, I like that bit of advice. I feel like if you give a lot more bits of advice like that, it's going to help people with anxiety, because then they have all these little bits of tips and tricks they can rely on. And I'm like, okay, well, that's great. They have their spot, yes, but you don't want that to be your foundation. Because what is it going to say? That you are nothing without all the tips and tricks. That's your source of confidence. That's your source of power, not who you are. You'll always feel not confident without it. Your self-esteem will never move up, because the good response, say the good reference, the good reaction, it's not because of who I am. It's because of the little story. It's because of the tip and trick I saw on YouTube. It actually hurts you. You want your source of power and confidence to just come from who you are. Hey, you know what? I can be interesting with a great script. I can be interesting with a boring script. Bring it. And if you're someone who relies way too much on the content, give yourself a challenge. Go out and try to talk about the most boring things, yet make them interesting. And you will be amazed. Even on a deeper level, what defines something that is interesting? If you find it interesting. If you're interested in it, that vibe, that passion will transfer onto the other person. They'll be interested in it too. Right? I actually have a friend, acquaintance, who lives in San Francisco. Like friend, more of an acquaintance. I'll see him every now and then. He lives in San Francisco. He's a great guy, though. And he works in the bar scene, restaurant scene. And he's the type of guy where if you go out and you eat something, or he orders a drink or something, he'll describe, kind of like how if you go to a Michelin star dinner, like in great detail all the subtleties that went into it. So say we're at a restaurant, it's like, oh, did you know that dish, they got this from that thing and this, and the way he talks content-wise, I mean, even if you actually go to a Michelin restaurant, they give you the description, you don't even understand half of what they're saying. You're just like, ooh, like the vibe affects you. Content-wise, I don't really care what he's saying about this. Oh, and then the fish, they got it there. Okay, cool story. But it actually makes the meal way more enjoyable, and I get sucked into what he's saying. Oh, did you know that this drink was infused with da-da-da-da-da? It's like, I don't give a fuck. But because you're into it, I actually kind of do, and I like it, so keep talking about it. Same here. Whatever you're into, actually at a most basic level, I would focus on that. Instead of looking for little cool stories, say, hey, what are some real stories from my life that light me up? What are some topics that I could just talk about forever? And try going out and talking about that. See what happens. Try prioritizing the vibe. Anything you say, it's because it highlights and amplifies the vibe. And you'll be surprised. There was even someone, this is many years ago. I still have the video somewhere. He was, might be in Transformation Mastery too. He's, it was in Eastern Europe. It was this older guy, very stifled, very sad, Eastern Europe. And, you know, he's like, oh, hey, like just all down. I'm like, when's the last time you smiled? He's like, what's that? And I'm like, okay, when's the last time you're excited? He's like, don't know. So I'm like, give me one thing you find really interesting, really exciting. And he's like, Game of Thrones. This was before the finale. And he was like really into it. I'm like, okay, tell me why you like, tell the whole crowd, you know what, tell the whole crowd why you like Game of Thrones. And he starts talking, he's like, the Game of Thrones. And at first it's just kind of meek, but suddenly, and you see it in the video, the guy starts getting carried away. He's like, you know, and the writer, they thought about it, and he starts getting louder and louder. And everyone's like, what the fuck? And he's like, they thought about this, and there's this character named Hodor. And like, Hodor. He's like, yes, and they thought about it for all these years. That hold the door is Hodor. Hold on, and starts going nuts. Everyone's like, who is this? Because he picked a topic that just lit him up. If he does that while out, that is much more charismatic and appealing than him thinking, what would be something that someone else would like to hear about? Maybe I'll interest them with a little bit of content. No, you interest them by being interested in it. You interest them with your vibe.
Okay. I'm going to add that to my watch later. Oh, I can't. Huh. See. To watch later. Okay. I just added that video to my watch later. So, I'm going to watch it again. Just for myself. So there was a word that he said towards the end that really stuck out to me. Charismatic. Now the word charisma is a very important word when it comes to being social because the slang word riz comes from charisma. And charisma is an important quality along with confidence and charm to attract a woman with your personality. And it goes back to dating. So we talking about the dating topic again. Charisma. Having charisma is let me look up the definition of charisma real quick because I don't want to be wrong. Then I'll talk about some things that could cause charisma. Compelling attractiveness or charm that can inspire devotion in others. Presence, aura, personality, individuality. Okay, so yeah, he's kind of right on that. He hit the nail on that. Charm. If charm and charisma is not the same thing, then yeah, I would say they're separate in attracting a woman. But if they are the same thing, then I would just say charisma. But because charisma is charm times 10. But charisma is being compelling and interesting with a good personality that draws an aura about yourself. So when he said that having charisma is from talking about a topic that lights you up, when it comes to dating, you don't want to talk about yourself. You want the girl to talk about herself. So a way of doing that is to talk about the stuff that you're interested in about her that might interest her. You know what I'm saying? So you have to come up with some very good topics that she will just love. But it has to be interesting to her. And then your charisma will show. And if you have interesting opinions about the topics that interest her, then man, you got it in the bag. But always remember that. That's how you get riz. Not from having game, not from having flashy cars, money, and going to the gym. All that is not riz. Riz is being an interested person and having an aura about yourself. Okay, so last video. And I'm going to get out your hair.
Heart. And when I went to college, I was never the first. I'm an introvert at heart. And when I went to college, I was never the first to engage in any type of social or classroom situation. And even my friend group that I still have to this day, we kind of just stumbled upon each other in the dorms. Like they approached me. I forget exactly how it was. We were all awkward at the beginning, just getting to school. And we're like, hey, you guys want to go walk to lunch or hang out? And then it slowly built into this. Don't even get me started about speaking in front of the class or going to networking meetups to meet new people. Those just turned me off in every single way. I wanted nothing to do with them. All I wanted to do was sit in my dorm, play video games, and work on the side businesses that I was pursuing at the time. And this was before I realized that being introverted isn't about being antisocial. Being social is a skill, not a personality trait that can be improved, yet people hide behind their introverted identity to avoid the inevitable discomfort they are going to have to face if they want to see success in any domain of life. Like, it doesn't make sense to write off business or something else that requires some form of social interaction, whether it be in business or just relationships or meeting new people. Like, thinking of yourself as an introvert in that way and thinking that like 50% of the population that is introverted just doesn't do those things, that is completely against the point. And so that was college, but now we're at the center of a new party, which is social media. And I tried to build a name for myself many times in the past. I started with a fitness YouTube channel, went on to create a digital art page on Instagram, even did some photography, a lot of photography actually. If you go to the bottom, like scroll all the way to the bottom of my Instagram page, you can see what I'm talking about here. And then the next thing was building multiple agencies or just freelancing businesses and testing out different tactics for growing and selling on social media. And then that's when I stumbled across Twitter, of all places. Seriously, nobody really thought of Twitter back then. And I would argue that still most people don't now, because I thought it was a place for like politics and half-baked memes. And since the day I downloaded it in like 2011, I just remember vividly scrolling on Twitter, not seeing anything that I liked, and then I just deleted the app from my phone for like 10 years. But one day when I decided to get back on Twitter, a tweet from Jose Rosado, great person, go follow him on Twitter, go follow him everywhere. A tweet of his popped up on my timeline, and it was some form of like heavy hitting truth, like a harsh truth. And I love that stuff. That's the kind of content that I really like, is like, hey, stop being a little bitch and go do this shit. I'm pretty sure that was Jose's thing at the time, is like, stop being a little bitch. And so that resonated really well with me. And so I followed him, and I realized that he wasn't just talking about self-improvement. He was talking about online business, which was what I was interested in too. So I was like, oh, this is a steal. This guy's talking about both self-improvement and online business. And then by following him, more accounts got exposed to my feed, either from people that he retweeted or that I just came across in the replies, or you know how you find people on social media. It's kind of just like the network effect. And before I knew it, I was drowning in high value money Twitter advice. And then on Twitter, I lurked without engaging or doing anything. That's the type of person I am. I just don't like engaging. I don't like commenting. I'm an introvert, right? I didn't want anything to do with it. So I just lurked for like 6 months until I finally realized, like it just hit me all at once. I'm like, all of these people are writing the same exact tweets that I could be writing. Like, I enjoy this content because I could do the same thing. They're confirming my beliefs. And so why am I just sitting here consuming when I could be doing the same exact thing? Because they were clearly getting leads, followers, sales. They were growing and actually making an income doing it. And all it took was a little mindset shift or shift in perception to see from that lens of, why am I not doing the same exact thing? I can do all of this. And so that alone, it sounds cliche, but that alone changed the direction of my life. So here is a graphic to illustrate that the digital world has no barriers. We can see this is the evolution of networking, where 20 years ago, you need college, network, location, profession, status in order to get opportunity. Today, all you really need is the internet. Because in the past, the only way to the top was your network, and your network was limited by your physical location or the college, the prestigious college that you went to, and climbing your way up the ladder. Then introverts didn't stand a chance, especially me at that time. If I would have gone to college in the past, I would have been fucked. I would have been out of a job. I wouldn't have been doing anything because I wouldn't be social enough to actually make that happen. So in the past, you couldn't, like, we take this for granted. We don't actually sit and think about it, but you can DM a celebrity. And if your DM is good, like if you're a good persuasive writer, which is a skill, right? It's not like just nobody gets access to these celebrities. The people you want to DM, there is a string of words that you can say that will get them to respond. And even in a freelancer, an agency owner, their case, in the past, you wouldn't be able to just DM a client, walk them through some kind of like strategized messaging to open them up to your service, and then get them to pay you $2,500, $5,000, $10,000. I know some people are even charging $60,000 for services through the DMs. Do you not see how fucking insane that is? Like, most people would kill for $60,000. So if you can just upskill yourself a little bit for 3 to 6 months in order to be able to create a freelancing, consulting, coaching service from the start reaching out to people, because the digital world has no barriers, and then pull in an income for yourself by charging low, like 500 to 1,000, getting results, improving your skill stack, charging more, learning how to create a system that solves a specific problem within a specific niche, and then charging even more to get more results. And then by that time, if you're growing an audience and you productize, like, it's very clear what people should be doing. But this is all modern. In the past, you had to go to school. You had to get good grades. You had to apply to a prestigious college, get accepted, and then do all of this fancy work to become, like, rise to the top of the ladder in whatever compartment or department of that education you wanted to go into. And then you had to be extroverted enough to actually form real connections with these people so that they would pass opportunities off to you rather than the next guy. And so in the past, people had to work their ass off in order to get the limited opportunities that were available. But now there's just an overabundance of opportunities and options that make people overwhelmed, uncertain. And so they flock to the secure career systems, you could call them, that have been developed over time, that the schools are tightly closed with. And so think about it. The person that you read just now in the comments, they need a website, and you could fulfill that service. And the tweet that you just scrolled by, that guy needs a video editor. And the person on some subreddit, they want to learn how to be happy. They have a problem in their life. They're not sure how to solve it. And maybe you can come in and help them. The internet gives you indirect access to the 4.9 billion people that are on it. And all it takes is one piece of content, right? This is all media. This is all content, where it takes one piece of content for someone to, like, it'll just land somewhere, right? Let's say it was a good piece of content. Someone retweeted it. Then a big account saw it. They retweeted it. And then another huge account saw it. It got put on a meme page. Maybe it got mentioned in the news. This is like way overly optimal case, but this can happen to anyone, right? It's just a matter of learning how to write a good piece of media and then having it spread to whatever part of the internet you could get to. And then people know your name. People start to know what you do. And then if you attract them to your audience and you have content going for you, then you nurture them they get to know you more. And then if you eventually have a product or service that you can offer them in order to pull in an income. So networking, even though I don't like that word, networking just, I like making friends is a better way to put it. But networking is the pillar of my success. Jose Rosado was the first person that I reached out to from my memory. I ended up signing on to his coaching program, which was a great program. This was like 3 years ago. And the cool thing is about this is that both Jose and I were in like slightly different niches, kind of. We talk about some same things. We talk about some different things, but that just goes to show that like people can be unique even if we're in very similar domains. And so another example is Joey Justice. If you're in Modern Mastery, you know who Joey is. If you're on Twitter, you probably know who Joey is. But we hit it off like way back when we first both started on Twitter. And now I'm flying out to see him in early March. I've seen him multiple times. He's a very good friend of mine. And it's just crazy what happens when you start actually putting yourself out there. And we helped each other with our services at the start. I helped him get I offered my services to him for free in order for him to get a testimonial from me and to just make his better. And he offered coaching to me. So it's like vice versa. That's kind of how it works in the creator economy is you just make friends, you help each other, and then you use those strategies to help others. And even last year, I moved to Texas with Dakota Robertson and JK Molina that I met on Twitter. And I've also met great people like Justin Welsh, Sahil Bloom, Dickie Bush. I had dinner with Dickie Bush like a few weeks ago. I've talked with others. It's just genuinely insane what kind of like-minded people that are ambitious in life and achieving good things you can find on the internet if you actually look for them. Because most people don't approach social media with this mindset. They approach social media with the mindset of, I want to be educated and entertained. It doesn't even cross their mind that they could reach out to this person and become friends with them. I'm talking about like people that are within a similar follower range as them and then grow together and offer their value in front of potentially 4.9 billion people on the internet. So if you're in this creator game or this one-person business game, if you're not on social media, you've already lost. This is kind of a given. I don't care if it's like paid ads or building a personal brand in general. I recommend building a personal brand. But if you're not on social media at all, I don't know what you're doing. And then go and talk to any creator or one-person business owner that you know and ask them what the most important part of their success is, and they're going to tell you it's networking. If they don't, I don't know what to tell you. So when you don't have an audience, which everyone does not have an audience at the start, DMs are how you get in front of people and you start making connections. Freelancers understand this well for landing clients, but the average person that is just trying to grow on social media, they don't see the importance of it. And so that's what this video is for, because I've seen people land job offers, right? This isn't only for people that are trying to start a business. This is for anyone that is looking to advance their career. I've seen people with tweets that go viral when they have very low followers simply because they are friends with someone that has a lot of followers and they shared it. And so people usually fall into two camps here. First is that they don't understand the sheer power and network effect of DMing people on a consistent basis. The second is that they don't understand that you can get large accounts to share your post if you are strategic enough. So this is clearly about how to send a good DM, but most people suck at sending DMs or they don't know how to do it. So I want to preface with this. Like, no shade on you if you've done this before, but from here on out, never, ever, 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 ever fucking ever send a DM that starts and ends with hi or hey, how are you? Can you follow me back? A straight sales pitch with no prior connection, a long block of text that takes too much time to read, especially if the sentences aren't spaced out. You have to approach DMs tactically, especially if you're reaching out to big accounts that get 10 plus DMs an hour. I would say that I get 10 plus DMs on almost every single platform, every single hour. And so you have to understand that, like, I just do not have the physical capability of replying to all of those DMs, especially because it's not just one DM back. It's usually a question and then I answer and then the DMs compound. So if I start answering people, the number goes from 10 plus DMs to like 40 plus DMs every single hour. So you have to keep in mind that people with a large following that you're trying to get in front of, they're just skimming through DMs to see if they're missing anything important, to the point where it's like an email subject line or a hook for a piece of content or a headline for an article. You have to capture attention with what they can see, and you have to be strategic about what you're going to say. So let's dive into the 7 steps to non-needy networking. This started out as a guide in digital economics, and then it got repurposed into 2-Hour Writer to help people get eyes on their writing. And then I put it in Modern Mastery. It's just a very important process to understand. This is foundational for anyone trying to grow a business or just improve their career or just get online. And so the main purpose of this, really, when we peel it all back, is to get your name in front of people's eyes and in their mouths. Because even freelancers struggle with thinking that they're just in this constant cycle of, I need to reach out to this guy, and then the conversation ends if they never respond. No, if you reach out to 100 people and you were kind and you had value to offer and you walk through the process that we're going to go through, then they're, even if they can't like help you with anything, they're going to have you top of mind for the next person that comes to them and asks if they know anyone that can help with web design, email marketing, fitness, whatever it may be. So the first step is to find somebody that you want to DM. You want to DM. And this isn't exclusive to just making connections. This is crucial for paid work as well. So many freelancers choose niches that they don't give a shit about, and then they're just put themselves in this like fucking terrible place where they hate reaching out to people because they hate the people that they're reaching out to. They hate working with the people, so they hate the work that they're doing for the people, and then they just build themselves into another miserable 9-to-5. So this is a crucial step, is just to reach out to people that you actually want to connect with. So reach out to people that you are inspired by, or you would want to work with, you would want to strategize with, or you see potential for mutual benefit. And when you're just starting out, you kind of have to work your way up the ladder, right? Because there's so many different moving pieces with all of this. It's impossible to explain in one video. But just one example, if I have 0 followers and I'm reaching out to someone with 100,000, and by chance they open my DM and then they look at my profile, there's like, yes, this is a bit superficial, but there's not really anything you can offer me. I see 0 followers and I think, okay, we're in this social media game. This guy hasn't put in any time at all. How is he going to help me? And of course, there's a lot more nuance to that. And so once you have an audience and leverage, you can really reach out to anyone you want. If you have 100,000 to 1 million followers, you have a lot more social proof, because that shows that you've been in the game for a while, that you're offering some form of value, that it's just like a badge saying that like, hey, I've stuck this out for a bit and I've actually proven myself. And so when I reach out to someone and I have like 1 million followers, I'll get a response from almost anyone. And so you're probably asking, where do I find people to DM? Well, I'm assuming that you follow people that you either want to connect with or can help you grow, or that you want to work with, right? You follow at least one of those people. So from that one person, go and look at their following list, right? This is probably 0 to 1,000 people that they follow. Look through that list, spend some time going through the accounts, find like-minded accounts, or just find people that you'd want to connect with, follow them, start replying to them, engage with them, and then eventually walk through this process of DMing them. So the first thing that you send is an inspired compliment. This is step 2. So you can find a piece of their content, work, or just something that they've done that truly inspires you, or that you like, or it gave you an insight that you want to share with them. And then you send that to them. So let's say it's like a tweet that I resonated with, and I'm going to send that person the tweet and be like, hey man, explain what I liked about it, and then go from there. And so people love praise. And there's this thing called the law of reciprocity, where if you give value to someone else, and praise is a form of value, then they feel obligated to give it in return. So let's pretend that I wrote a tweet on managing emotions. This is what I would say. What's up, Dan? This tweet hit me hard. I've been going through it the past couple of days, and this instantly gave me some relief. Thank you. And then I add the link to the post they liked. Simple as that. Step number 3 is to show genuine interest in them. So if they don't respond from this, you can just reach out again in the same manner. Send them something that you liked and keep doing that until they respond. And so showing interest is communication 101. Showing interest makes you interesting. So ask them about their goals, what they're building, what they do for work. This gives you the opportunity to give value, even if you don't have the value to give right now. So let's assume that they just respond with the generic, thank you so much. And that was to the last message. And now you can go to their profile, find what they're working on, or just a goal that they have, and try to assume it. So if you find what they're working on, you can say something like, what are your next plans for Modern Mastery? It's been crazy seeing it grow. I'm curious what you've got in store. If you can't find what they're working on, do you have anything that you're building right now? With that kind of content, you must have something bigger in the works. So step number 4 is to lead with value. This is the part that trips most people up because most people don't think they have value to give. So your first options are to see where you can help, send actionable tips if you personally have them, or you can send resources, videos, articles, or anything that may help with them building what they're building in accordance with their goal. And so if you have to ask more questions in order to get more specific on what they're building so that you can actually help them with that, then do so. Ask more questions in between these. So if you have no value to give, you can send a resource that can help them with their goals, connect them with someone else in your network, just continue having a good conversation and showing interest, show that you're interested in helping them. So step number 5 is to get on a call to make a deeper connection. So this part is optional, but highly recommended. You don't have to get on a call with someone, but I would practice it, right? Especially if you're an introvert, it helps a lot to be able to get on a Zoom call and just talk with someone, because making that face-to-face connection is priceless, right? Especially on the internet where nobody really knows your mannerisms. They don't know how you talk outside of like a scripted reel or post. And it just helps to mesh on that personal level. And so when I was starting out, I was getting on Zoom calls left and right, even if I didn't feel like it. I remember being so anxious one time when I was DMing someone with like 50,000 followers. I was just like, oh my God, this guy, like it's crazy. I can't believe I'm even getting on a call with him. And then you realize that every single person behind a high following count is human too. They're just like you. And so people think that getting on a Zoom call is weird because, one, they haven't done it. And it's a lot more normal than you think if you just ask someone, hey, you want to get on a call and like I can help out with what you're building, or we can just talk shop and have a good time. And so it also helps to just take the conversation to somewhere like Telegram or WhatsApp, where you can send them like a voice message, right? You can make it more personal. And now I mentioned WhatsApp. There's people in the replies of these YouTube videos. I'm going to get you one day, motherfucker. But there's like these scammers that have their name as like WhatsApp and then a number, and they have my profile picture. That's so weird. Like, I'm sorry if you guys like click on that, you're an idiot. Don't click on those things. So step number 6 is to follow up with value, right? You've waited some time. You've gotten on a call with them. Maybe there's some space between the messages. The conversation fizzled out, but it helps to strengthen that, or just like keep that connection going. Oh my God, my tax guy's calling me. Hey, how are you, man? Yeah, sounds good, man. I really appreciate it. So when you're following up with value, you want to remember their goals, right? You want to have their goals top of mind. So when you come across something or you find something interesting, just as you're consuming content or you're reading books or you're watching YouTube videos or you're building stuff out, then you can think to send it to them in order to just continue providing value to them. I've done this before with like content systems that I built out, or like Notion templates that I've built out. And if I feel like it'll benefit one of my friends in my network, then I'm going to send it to them and just be like, hey man, I built this out. Maybe it'll help with XYZ. And so if you want like a hard script to practice, I don't recommend like copy pasting any of these, just use your own voice. But if I were to give a script, it would just be, I remember you telling me about your plans for their project or goal. I found this today and thought you'd find it helpful. So it could be a YouTube video, or it could be really anything that you just feel like they would benefit from. So the last step number 7, is to follow up with an ask. Notice how we provided value. We've followed up with value. All of this is variable, right? You don't have to do it exactly in this order. These are kind of just the principles. And if you study influence or persuasion, you'll understand this a lot more. So I'd recommend like the book Influence by Robert Cialdini. But by this point, you've built a pretty damn solid connection without asking for anything yet. And understand this is a long game as well, right? If you're here to just like get a quick payment from them or get like a quick retweet from someone or a quick share, like you may succeed, but it's not sustainable. You're not building an actual like good network that you can rely on. And so at this point, you can ask them to join a mastermind group, send them one of your posts that you've put a lot of time into, because they may share or retweet that, right? You don't even have to ask them to retweet it. They could just share it. And the third is ask any specific questions you have for them without paying for consulting, right? So this is like what a lot of people miss, is they'll just shoot a message immediately to someone and expect like a thought out answer when there's no relationship there. And so if you have a burning question that you want answered, then you should practice building a relationship, because a lot of the time, I mean, some people do this. I haven't really done it in the past, but I know there's some like big people where someone will send them a question because they don't take into account how much time, like they're busy people. And so the person will send them like a link and be like, hey, you can sign up for a consulting call here. And it's like $1,000. right? And so no one's going to pay that. But if you actually network with this person, you show that you're a cool person and a real person, then you can usually ask questions and get answers because they like you. And so if your plan is to leverage these people for audience growth, then you need to write a tweet that they would think about retweeting, right? So you could write a tweet that mentions a topic that you learn from them. You can write a post on Instagram and tag them in it because you inspired a part of that post. And then when you send that to them, you just be like, yo, just wrote this up and thought you'd enjoy it. It was inspired by our previous conversation. And if they're tagged in it, then there's mutual benefit, because if they share it and that post gets traction, it just looks better for them anyways. And so for DMs, you should be reaching out to people every single day, right? I'm assuming if you want to become a creator, or you're a solopreneur or one person business, you are in the space to not only learn and produce and meet people, but that's exactly it, is you're there to meet people. If you like someone's post, DM them and tell them you like it. If you like someone's reply, like it, engage with it, and just be like, hey man, I love that reply on the post. Like it's so easy to just send a DM to thank people for what they're doing online. And so there's a bonus tip, number 8, because you might be thinking, Dan, won't this take a lot of time? It's like, yes, obviously, zoom out and see the big picture. If it's going to take you 4 years to get a formal education and a degree, and then another 10 years to actually work your way up the ladder to a reasonable salary that you can live with, then it's going to take a few months, years. It's going to take some time to build your own thing. And all of this is ironic because the uncertain or the uncomfortable path or doing your own thing is the only quick fix out there. And when I say quick, I just mean like an expanded time horizon. It could take you 2 years to start making $10,000, $20,000, $50,000 a month by building your own thing. But then people love the certainty of like, oh, I go to college for 4 years. I get to take a break. I get to go and work for this cool, big status-based company and then work my way up the ladder from $50,000 a year to $100,000 a year, and then get capped there, and then eventually start my own thing and maybe spend a few years doing that when you could have just done it from the start. That's why the digital world has no barriers. This is such an important thing. We do not live in the world that we lived in 10 years ago. You live right now, and there's ample opportunity to build whatever the fuck you want. And so another thing is bringing your ideal future, the actions you're going to be taking then anyways into the now, is something that you should be doing. If you want to be a writer and you're not writing for 10, 20 minutes, even an hour a day, and then just scaling it up as you are able to make that more sustainable in your life, that's what you do. If you're going to have to DM people anyways, when it comes time to start building your own thing, you should be doing it right now. So start with DMing 2 people a day. You like their content, DM them. Then bump it up to 5, bump it up to 10. I promise that alone will just change fucking everything. Because the thing with this is like, oh, you like, why would I do these things if I'm not being paid for it? Do you see the dissonance there? There's a huge dissonance where it's like, you're not going to be able to get paid for it until you have enough practice from doing it without getting paid in order to get paid. And preferably it's something you like doing. Like if you're going to be writing every day in the future and getting paid for it, but you're not writing every day right now and working your way up in terms of income, then I don't know what you're doing. Like I'm feeling feisty today. So just get your shit together. That's it. So if you like the video, like the video. If you want to comment on the video, comment. If you want to subscribe. I'd love if you did that. Check out links in the description for 2-Hour Writer. Learn a new skill, learn how to leverage it. Digital Economics Masterclass on brand, content, marketing, product. Modern Mastery for a community of like-minded people. You can join for $5. Link in the description. Free challenge, creative challenge, free power planner, other cool stuff. Just explore down there. And with that, I hope you have an incredible rest of your day.
Y'all got my Willie Neal Johnson and Paul. Old school gospel. This video came on. That's what I've been listening to all the time. So yeah, that's it for the video. I'm glad we ended off the live stream with 3 views. So yeah, I just wanted to play the whole video through without any pauses because of time. I gotta go to sleep, you heard me? And it's like, so networking, basically, in my opinion, I think the best way to network and DM people is to talk to them as if they're your peers instead of, you know, trying to be all professional. But that's just his take on it. But Like the video, comment, subscribe, share this video around. Come next time to my live next Tuesday. See you in the next video. Hope you enjoyed the video. And remember, we be original.